There will always be a place for you at my table. Return to me.
Everyone, hi viewing audience, and I want to introduce our final person at the table series. None other than, well, I'll allow her to introduce herself. None other than,
Alicia Labadie.
okay, so I'm gonna call you Alicia, right? So good.
Just for today.
Just for today. So we're gonna try to ensure that we both very comfortable. So get comfortable. Think about your chair at home. Think about us just being relaxed. I've known you for almost 20 years now, and a little more than that. And within that 20 years, we've had many conversations.
Yeah.
And I don't want this to feel any different from one of those conversations that we've had. We've spoken about many topics. You've been instrumental at very crucial parts in my life in regards to information, knowledge, growing up, life, that kind of thing. And I want us to just share not just the knowledge you imparted on me. I want you to be able to share it with those that are listening, those that are struggling, those that are having similar situations, so you can be a blessing to them. That's
No
okay?
problem. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
good. So if you want to put your foot, so if you want to hold on to the couch, whatever you want to do,
I'm good.
and let's get into it. So I'm gonna start with some of the generic ones. Who who are you? Who is Alicia Labadie?
Simple. Love to laugh. Love to socialize. Love to be around people. You wouldn't find me in the garden. You'll find me conversing with people.
Right,
You know.
right.
Love to read as well. Lost my eyesight because I've read so much. You know. I remember being 9 years old, reading to Heaven to Hold. You know,
Ooh.
Nancy Van Pelt. I could teach you all at 9 years old. You know, about relationships. Yeah. I was reading from very early. Heavy into sports as well. Loved long distance running, short distance running, high jump, cricket, netball.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that is what you did. But tell me a little about your family structure. How you were raised. Mom, dad. Is it siblings? How was that?
Mommy and daddy was around. They both three brothers. I was the only girl.
Right.
Clearly, I was spoiled.
Right,
That's
right.
just the reality of what it is. I was spoiled, got my own way a lot. But it was nice. But I had a lot of friends as well, you know, so a lot of interaction with church because of uniform and that kind of thing. So it was calm and nice. I
Right.
enjoyed my childhood. It was fun. Lots of laugh, climbing mango trees, making chow. Chow was a big thing.
Right. What's your
You
favorite?
know?
What's your favorite type of chow?
Mango, of course, but you must put some cucumber and some
Right,
lime and
right,
pepper,
right.
you know. Yeah, but I really had a nice, cool childhood growing up as well.
Okay. So we heard about your childhood, and as we transition, because what I want to do is kind of tell a story as we transition to the phases of your life, so that, like we said, you could be a blessing to others. So what we try to do is just kind of give different bit points. So we're looking at childhood and teenager years. So you said you were involved in church.
Yeah.
Were you Adventist all your life?
All my life. Yeah.
So you didn't know another way.
No, this is it. One church. Yeah. Even though, you know, growing up, you have to question, well, this is what your parents send you to.
Right.
And you start to question, why am I really here? Why is I'm the different one in terms of everybody in my class coming to church on a Saturday, having to worship Friday night, can't go anywhere, do
Right.
anything for the whole of Friday evening to Saturday afternoon. But you adjust and you get a sense of more camaraderie with those in church as well because they are like-minded like you. So it wasn't too bad.
Okay, so you didn't do the whole Adventist school thing.
No.
So you had non-Adventist friends growing up.
Yes.
How was that? How was that interaction? non-Adventist friends, you being a little different, as you said.
Yeah.
How was that whole interaction?
I was always the different one.
Right.
Because I'm not eating certain foods, I'm not drinking certain things, I'm not going certain places, I don't wear jewelry. I don't know why. No matter how much I tell my friends my ears aren't bored, I don't wear jewelry. Every Christmas, I will get a chain or I will get an earring.
I mean, it's the easiest
don't-
thing to buy, right?
I know, but I don't know why. Even though I'm telling them over and over, I do not wear jewelry. Oh, you'll get it. You'll boy your ears when they get older.
Right. So that spoke about the social interaction with your friends. What about dating? So for the viewing audience, I have permission to talk about your dating life and that kind of thing. So what about dating? You're looking at Alicia, 18 to 25. You're discovering yourself. You're meeting people. What was your philosophy about dating then?
Have lots of friends. So you can have lots of choices.
Right.
Yeah. I really had good relationships, even friendships. Even to now, we are still friends. We get along as well. But I didn't want to really be tied down per se to
Right.
one person at that age. So I was just enjoying life. And because I guess of uniform pathfinder, you was socialized a lot. So you met a lot of people along the walk of life and in things that you do. You interact well. So it was fun for me making friends, and you let go of some friends as
Right,
I come
right.
along as well.
So that was dating,
Yeah.
but I feel like that was so much. I want to get a little bit more. So were you at that point in your mind ready to settle down, or is it that you're waiting for the right one, or what was it, or hoping for someone with similar characteristics as you were looking for? You were dating. So
Yeah.
why one at that time didn't really stick?
Because I guess I was free spirited,
Right.
just enjoying life at a point in time. But you had the growing up, the fairy tale of, wanting to be married at a certain age, wanting to have your child at a certain age, that didn't work out. Because I guess they're just not real, not realistic.
Right.
But I always wanted to be in a relationship with somebody made it easy.
Right.
To make it fun, you're going down this walk of life with all the stresses already, and I don't want you to bring any stress to my life. Let's
Right.
make it happy and let me be good together,
Right, right.
and that only came probably a little later on in life.
Okay. So that came a little later on.
Yeah.
But before we get there, you interact with a lot of young people today.
Yeah.
And you see the differences in dating then and dating now.
Yes.
You have different philosophies of dating. Some persons believe not at all. Some persons believe, yes, interact with many people so that you can kind of fine tune what
True.
you're looking for. What I would say, can you give the listening audience maybe some information in regards, or some advice in regards, as you look at the dating scene now, some advice or something that they could really work with in terms of they could hold on to?
For one, don't want to make it sound so far away. The pressure of having sex before marriage wasn't as high as it is now.
Right.
I guess through media and that kind of thing, it makes it look, I have to do this thing by a certain age. That wasn't a major thing for me then. The biggest thing was to get a kiss, from somebody.
Ooh, nice.
So it wasn't it living and having a boyfriend at that age wasn't as much pressure as it now. Interacting with the young people that I did as well now, a lot of them who may have had sex before marriage always regret it. So I guess my advice now to them is, don't feel pressured, don't feel forced, don't feel that you have to, entertain this, because the reason why God made it to be done a particular way is for a reason.
Right.
And don't go out there and figure that I have to do this. Take your time, enjoy it, enjoy the relationship, enjoy getting to know each other, talk. And first, as major for me, is always be friends first.
Right.
Don't rush into being boyfriend and girlfriend, the
Okay,
exclusivity,
okay.
Be friends. Because when you're friends, you show me your good, your bad, your ugly side, because the snot in the nose, everything, we free and we open. So then you're able to better assess the person. Is this person what I am looking for? Is this person
Right.
what I seek to spend a long-term relationship with, and then you'll be able to a better decision in when you actually want to make that final decision.
Okay, so I want to talk about God a little bit. Just so we've heard in the presenters past that your relationship with God changes as your life
Yeah.
changes. It goes through different transitions.
Yeah.
So we're talking about that teenage years, you're dating, you're interacting with your friends, you're getting to know yourself. How was your perception, or what was your perception of God, and what was the relationship with him like?
First, unfortunately, because most persons who grew up in the church never have this big bang moment, coming to Jesus moment kind of thing.
And that was you, 'cause you
and
grew
that
up
was
in church.
yes, and
Okay.
that was me. You know, I never had when people get baptized and they're jumping for joy and they're happy because they're being filled with the Spirit. Yes, and they're really enjoying this new life they have.
Right.
It was just like a smooth transition. It was even so that I got baptized kind of late. I was 17 years old. Mind you, I didn't even choose to get baptized.
How it happened?
It was a crusade that was being held, and a Bible worker just woke up to me. Time for you to get baptized.
Just like that?
Just like that. And
I
I'm-
choose you.
yeah,
Baptized.
time to get baptized. And I'm like, I was just living my life, being a good Christian girl, you know, kind of thing. But in actuality, it worked out great because I could actually say there was a change in my spiritual life after that as well.
Right.
So I may have been forced into baptism, but the decision was never regretted. Because your eyes were opened a little more in terms of Christ. That relationship with you and Christ became more personal. Before it was, yeah, there's a God, and I believe in him, and he helps other people, you know. I ain't too sure about me, but I'm still around, you know, going to church and doing my
Right.
part. But when you go through certain things in life and you realize, hey, this God is with me, having real patience through all of my ups and downs and helping me and working with me to make me better, you had no choice, you know, but to grow.
What would you say? What would you say to someone thinking about baptism right now? Because there's the concept that, hey, in order to be baptized or in order to serve Jesus, I have to be perfect, or I have to
Yeah.
get ready and come. A lot of us in the church sometimes feel like, yo, we can never, or we will never get
Reach.
there. So there's always the odd relationship, because we'll never get there to reach, and it's like we feel like we need to get there to actually get
Make that
baptized. What would you
decision.
say to someone who's on the fence with that?
Don't wait. Once you know God, talk to him. You have to have that open-mindedness to want to know where he's speaking to you and leading you and directing your path.
Right.
I would never give an age as to say at this particular age you should or shouldn't. I think God guided that Bible worker to come and talk to me. And, you know what I mean? It was strange. Literally just walk up to me and tell me, you, time to get baptized, you know?
And you just followed, just
And I,
followed.
yeah, it was a little hesitant because, you know, you know my face.
Right.
Like, okay. So I went. So in terms of my experience, I would tell you, just be guided by God. Don't hesitate. Don't hold back. If you're being led, don't wait for this moment where you expect everything to be perfect. You know, your life, your money, your job, your decisions. Hey, I know all the tenets of the commandments, all that God expects of me. It wouldn't happen. You know, it's as you say, it's a gradual process. It's a learning process. I am still learning for sure. You know, but I think what I hold on to is that God is always there through all the trials and the temptations, and I have never regretted that decision to stick by him.
Okay. So we talk about the trials and the temptations, and I want to just jump right into there. So what I love about this series, it gives a more in-depth look at
Yeah.
our leaders. We might hear the testimonies, we might hear the struggle and the victory right after, but as a teen growing up, as a young adult, were you faced with any struggles, personal temptations, things that you, God, I really need your help with this one. This one just seems to be getting the better of me. Were you struggling with any of those? I mean, we all are, but are you willing to share some of those?
Yeah. Even though I had a strong life in church because of uniform, I also had a strong friendship in school. So it was always that torn between they going to the cinema It mightn't be a party per se, but a line by somebody, that kind of thing. So the party and the cinema probably was the biggest thing because they made it sound so much fun. And it's on a Friday night when I have to go and sit down and have worship in my house with your family, and it, you know what I mean, and it is sung too good compared to the life they have outside. So the biggest struggle was making the decision to, hey, this is what God expects of me, and it was hard. I did run away and go to.
I like that honesty, yeah. So you ran away a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this. Sometimes when you run away, I've found in my personal experience that while you're there, everyone is having fun, but then there's that still small voice.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
Why you here? Like, you're not supposed to be here. Did you get that? Or
Yeah.
was that there with you as well?
Yes, totally. Because it's like, and then all the hype and the excitement of actually going to the movies or going to a line with, your friends, that kind of thing. But when you're actually there, what doing here?
Right.
What really am I doing here? Because even it had a time that I had stopped going to church. The excuse was simply that my clothes couldn't fit or I needed
What
more
age this
clothes.
was?
This was probably about 14, 15.
Right.
I didn't have enough clothes to go to church. That was the excuse. And by that age, that age, you could kind of make a decision. So I wasn't going to church. But I'm still consider myself a Seventh-day Adventist Christian. And I would go online with all the friends in the neighborhood,
Right.
15 of us, and we all talking and that kind of thing. But you have the voice in the back of your head constantly telling you, sister, what are you really doing here? Because this is not what you are for. God disappointed. And disappointed God gives you a kind of guilt feeling, a sadness. So just one Sabbath, I decided I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
And I got wear the same clothes I had. That was too small or
It
I
wasn't
needed
the
it. So
problem.
it really was just an excuse. You know what I mean? But I started going back to church and then I felt the fulfillment because you're with like-minded people who believe in the same things that you believed in. So it was a good opportunity. I never regretted it because you learned a lot, because of those experiences I had with people outside, more for want of a better word, it made me more grounded.
Right.
To my decision, hey, this is where I'm supposed to be with my people serving God,
So I want to ask, so a lot of things just coming up as you're talking, because like I said, this is how our conversations
Yeah.
go. You say something,
And you're
you
going
trigger
on.
something in my mind, so hoping we can stick to the time, because we'll be here for hours. You said there's a philosophy now where, and I know so I don't want it to be too controversial, but there's a philosophy where a lot of young Adventists only have Adventist friends. You said that from just interacting with your non-Adventist friends, you saw certain things, and you as an adult, you as a young adult, you became more grounded. How do you find that balance? And I mean, you spoke to us about it, because I am someone who would have non-Adventist friends, but you find that struggle to have that balance, because as much as you try to deny it, there's that influence coming in from the
for
outside.
sure, yeah.
How do you, to the young people out here, how do you balance that between the influence from outside, still quote unquote, because we're always trying to witness, like that's my thing, I have no Adventist friends because I'm trying to witness. How do you find that balance there?
I would say you have to be strong.
Right.
You have to stick to, even though you may have non-Adventist friends who may question you or why you believe this or why you're only doing this. Come, let us go this particular place kind of thing that you shouldn't. You have to be strong and grounded and know what you believe, because they'll question you as well. Huh? But what I have learned is that when they question your beliefs, when they question why you deciding to not go and smoke,
Right.
when you stand up, they actually respect you, and they
Yeah.
have more questions in terms of wanting to know, okay, this person, she seems strong, she know what she's doing, and okay, and they stop pressuring you to actually do it. So stand up for what you believe. Don't waver at all, because from the day you waver even half an
That's
inch,
it.
yeah, they jump on you. You see, I thought you're talking about all this all the time, you don't want to go and smoke, but look, you hold it in your hand at least. What is that? Well, then just pull,
Right.
Don't be pressured at all into doing these things. Always be strong. You have to stand firm for what you believe. Don't waver.
And where that strength comes from?
For me, it was because, well, God, obviously,
Right.
yes, but I had a good mentor.
Right.
I had friends in church as well who, they see you're going the wrong way, they literally would pull you back, you know. So that base always have friends that are willing to pull you out
Right.
when you're ready to jump over in the sea into the unknown kind of thing.
Right. Okay, good. So I think we're getting a lot here. This is not your regular service, so thanks so much for sharing. So we looked at your early childhood, we looked at your adolescence, your young adult years. Um, so around this time, in my mind, you're looking at getting married.
Yeah.
What age did you get married at?
At 28, into going almost into 29.
Okay, good, good.
So that was
Was
kinda
that
late.
a part of your timeline, or you had it 25?
Mine was 22. I'll have children by 25.
Right.
So then I'll be able to live my life, you know, because they'll be
Right.
big by then. But and that was just because you're reading in books and that kind of thing, and you have this timeline. But God knew better.
Okay. So you got married at 28, and how was that? What was, and not how was the marriage, but what was your idea? With all the books you read, with everything, with all the marriages you had seen, what was that? What was your mindset going into marriage?
Marriage for me at that time was, it never ends.
Right.
You and your partner there, you'll go through your struggles, but you're
Right.
going down the road together.
Right.
You know, we pumping, we riding, no matter what, you die hard. You know, we doing this together throughout whatever come me. I never believed in some form of separation. Marriage was supposed to be where two people basically going down this road together, this journey on the same road, looking towards this light, you know, that is ultimately God kind of thing. We having our fun while we pulling people together, you know, at the same time to join us on this journey as well. You
Right.
know, so we were supposed to be examples.
Right.
We are supposed to be examples to others. Hey, this could work, you know.
Did that come with some self pressure? Like, okay, I need to be an example. I want this to work. We have to not fake, but portray this.
Yeah. Not really, because I was never one into too much of pressure per se.
Right.
But I just always wanted to be a good example to others, a genuine good example in terms of, if I have my struggles, I will tell you what my struggles are and how I overcame them. You know, this is not about it's glorious and it's wonderful and perfect. I don't want to ever be that, but I always wanted to be, even though we may falter, even though things may not always go right, that we are still able to continue this journey together.
Right. What kind of wife you think you were? 'Cause I know you also work. You're the at work, get home, cook, clean, make sure.
How you doing with
A
this?
merge between the
Really?
1960s
Why?
wife plus the modern wife. What would you say? How were you? Or what style you adopted?
First, because I lived alone for a number of years before I got married, so I
Right.
was surely independent.
Ooh.
I could have done it by myself.
I don't need
I
nobody.
no, I wouldn't
Okay.
say that, you know, because marriage for me was, I am happy in the state I'm in,
Right.
but if I'm meeting someone, you should make it better.
Right.
And that's the idea that I went into marriage with, you know, that I'm good, but you going to make it better. I believed in terms of the Bible that the man is the head of the home.
Right.
You know, didn't always portray that because you're independent, you
Right,
know.
right.
Yeah, so marriage for me was, it was a nice union that two people of, even though we are different, but we come together because the whole purpose is serving God, you know. The cooking,
Tell them.
from start, I said I will do everything. I love to go and mow. I will cut the grass.
Oh, okay.
I will clean the car. I
Right.
will wash. I will iron. The cooking just.
Right. Okay. And then, so you're married now. And then for those of you who don't know, you have a son.
Yes.
Asa. And Asa was introduced to the picture. How long after you all were married, Asa came into the picture?
Just under 3 years.
Okay, so you got to
Yeah.
enjoy the marriage just a little
Yes.
bit,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And how was that? Now you're no longer just independent Alicia. The adjustment from Alicia to wife Alicia, and now Alicia the wife, Alicia the mother, Alicia the person, and then Alicia the church leader. how was that adjustment?
It was hard. It was really, really, really hard. I remember, even when you're married, you could still pick up yourself and go when you want,
Right,
kind of
you
thing.
like that.
The spontaneous, yeah, that's me. But when you're married and you have this, now that you're sorry, you have a child, and you
Right.
kind of child have to be where you are. It was hard. That transition. I don't know how people could do it.
Right.
Like having more than one child. I
Right.
admire them. I kudos to you. But it was a hard transition to be a mother where you now have to. This child is dependent on you. So I
Everything.
remember 2 weeks after I had Asa. I slim back down looking real good, and I was going crazy. I was
Right,
going
right,
crazy
right.
in terms I felt like, wow, everything coming closing in. And I remember just putting some breast milk, and I said, I'm going. And I went in the mall. People who saw me didn't even realize I had a child,
Right.
and it felt good. I am just Alicia.
I'm
I'm not a
back, right,
yeah, it's
right.
just Alicia, not Alicia the mother or Alicia the wife. And it felt good to just walk in the mall without my son. This is not saying I don't love my,
No, no.
don't love him, but it was hard sometimes to differentiate between Alicia the person, Alicia the wife, Alicia the mother, Alicia the person in church, that kind of thing. And you had to find it. But I enjoyed it. But yes, when you're out there in the mall, you realize, but I'm missing the child.
Right, right.
So I came back home just as quickly, kind of thing. But find it that middle, that part, that balance between all was the transition was a little difficult.
Okay. So you made a decision to. I've always asked you this. I think you are amazing in terms of how you deal with young people, how you respond to them. You just have this motherly way about you, and I always felt like persons have so many children. Persons who don't seem to have that level of characteristic. But you decided to just have one.
Yeah.
How was that for you? And I'm going to ask you a personal question. How was that for the marriage? Is that like a mutual decision that you came to? Is that like a... How was that? Why and how? Because you seem to be so good at this whole
Yeah.
parenting, mothering thing.
Yes, I love it. Love children, love young people, love interacting. But it was a really emotional strain on me, not just physically, it was an emotional strain at times so it wasn't mutual. So I decided that one child, like I went through this, I did it. He's here. It was hard because he was always crying. He is nothing like what you see now. He was always crying. He was cranky. I didn't know what to do at times. You're walking in walls with him in the night because he's just crying. So that was hard. And at that time, you didn't really have somebody a support system at that time to help you through this transition, this period of, hey, what is this? And sometimes your husband not knowing how to handle you as
Right.
well. So I find it was just too hard. I'm not going to do this again. That's it. I am good, and that was just a decision. And also, it just really worked out that way. God say, Alicia, one for you.
Good. Okay. What do you say that cause? So we're about to go to a break. Before we go to the break, I just enjoy just talking to you, and I think the listening audience enjoying the conversation because we're getting to a particular point where we could learn and where we could
Yeah.
just get better. So, stay tuned for, I guess, part 2 of talks at the table with Alicia Labadie.
There will always be a place for you at my table. Return to me.